everybody! JK Calloway here at Real JK Calloway, and we are only 2 days away from the next Raw exclusive pay-per-view, Hell in a Cell, so let's do some Hell in a Cell predictions. Bear in mind, I do try to get the match order correct, as well as who wins and what's next storyline-wise. So we'll see how I do. And before we get to it, if you could, hit subscribe for me. I always appreciate when you do. Like, share, leave comments. Let me know how terrible you think my picks are. First up, as they've already announced, will be the pre-show match, which is a 6-man tag involving the Cruiserweights, including Cedric Alexander, Lince Dorado, and Sin Cara versus Tony Nese, Drew Gulak, and Arya Daivari. And I'm just plain old being a homer here. I'm picking Gulak, Nese, and Daivari because I grew up with Arya. I knew him when he was a kid. I was good friends with Sean Daivari, who was Cesaro Daivari, manager of Muhammad Hassan. So I'm picking those guys because basically I'm a homer and I know that guy. But no real storylines to behold. As you can tell, Rich Swann is not involved in the match, so hopefully there's something for him to do later. On to the main show, and I think they'll open up with Enzo and Cass versus Anderson and Gallows, and it really doesn't matter who wins because neither team is going to do much after this match, but let's say Enzo and Cass win. I still am so confused as to why they are over. I don't really understand the gimmick, but people dig it. Maybe people just like to sing along with stuff, and that's fine. You know, okay, alright, just okay. I really don't get it, but okay. On to our first of 3 quote-unquote main events tonight, and I think they'll start with the US Championship, Roman Reigns versus Rusev, and because he's just so pretty, Roman Reigns is going to win. Why let Rusev beat your poster boy? It makes no sense. Presumably they're both going to be part of the 5-on-5 traditional match at Survivor Series, but who knows? This feud has run its course. Hopefully they can both move on to bigger and better things. Up next will be the Bayley versus Dana Brooke match. It's kind of a breather after what hopefully will be a physical Hell in a Cell match, but who knows? And this one, surprisingly, I think Dana Brooke's going to win, but not without shenanigans, of course. I think the makeover of Emma will come a little bit early, and hopefully it's just Emma coming out, not Emmalina. Yeah, we get it. She's absolutely stunning, and she looks amazing in a bikini, but you know what's more important than that? She can work her ass off in the ring. So hopefully they revert back to the Emma and Dana team that they started right after Mania before Emma got hurt, because there's some promise there, and frankly Dana is still a little too green to be on her own, and this could help Emma get back into the fold, possibly starting an Emma versus Bayley feud, which would be solid. Coming up next is the Tag Team Championship match, the New Day versus Cesaro and Sheamus, and this one's a little tough to call. They've been pushing Sheamus and Cesaro hard as a tag team that works but hates each other kind of gimmick, but it seems to be working, but you know they're gonna give New Day the win. They really want New Day to take over that top longest tag team championship spot. So as soon as they pass Demolition, I think anyone can take the titles from them. Cesaro and Sheamus, Anderson and Gallows, Enzo Cass, it doesn't really matter who. But someone will, but they're going to put that moniker on the New Day as having the longest reign in history before they take the titles off of them. I'm putting this one up next only because of the whole main event thing they've been pushing with the women's Hell in a Cell. So first up, I think it'll be the Cruiserweight Championship, TJ Perkins versus Brian Kendrick, and the way they seem to be going is Brian Kendrick's going to win the match and become the new Cruiserweight Champion. Now, I do think he will cheat to do this, even possibly injuring TJ Perkins and then attacking him after the win, and then get interrupted by Rich Swann. Remember when I said there might be something for him to do later? This is it. Rich Swann got a win over Kendrick on Monday night. Rich Swann is clearly over with the fans, whereas TJ Perkins is kind of hitting a flat note with fans for some reason. He's an outstanding worker. But Rich Swann is extremely exciting, and I think they're going to kick off a feud between Brian Kendrick and Rich Swann, and possibly even send Perkins back down to NXT, which wouldn't be a terrible thing. Semi-final match, whether you want to call it a main event or not, it is the semi-final match, and I'll call it that. Sasha Banks versus Charlotte in a Hell in a Cell match, and despite Mick Foley's passionate speech on Monday, I don't really think they're going to do too much other than throw each other into the chain link fence a few times, but otherwise I don't think it's going to be anything different than what we've seen from them before. I don't think it's going to be too much brutality, if you will. I certainly don't think either one of them is going to blade or anything like that, or bleed hard way. But I still think it's going to be a great match. These two always kind of light it up and do great chain wrestling and storytelling. They do it all. They're very good at it. If somehow they make it outside of the cage, maybe Charlotte can do one of those moonsaults off of the Hell in a Cell. We've never seen that, and you know, we've never seen anyone die on the thing either. So who knows? Maybe they'll try to one-up Mick Foley and just have Charlotte break herself for fun. But no, I think Sasha Banks will win this match. It should be a fairly standard match. I think the Hell in a Cell will just be dressing, but it'll still be a great match. But unlike SummerSlam, I think they're going to let Sasha run with the ball for a little while now. On to the real main event, because it is the male championship, and that is the main event. It will be Seth Rollins versus Kevin Owens for the Universal Championship, which, remember, was hideous. Everyone hated it until Kevin Owens won it. Now it's just great. So fickle folks. This one will be more of the brutality, hardcore type of match, I think, calling back to their Tyler Black versus Kevin Steen days in Ring of Honor. There will be weapons, almost certainly a sledgehammer, wink wink. Now before we get to the winner, let me start with a caveat. I think some point during the night there will be a segment backstage between Owens and Jericho, with the 6'2" Tom Phillips practically sitting on his knees, where Owens basically tells him, if you come to the ring tonight, you're out of my life forever, I'm giving back my promised ring, and I'm gonna block you on Twitter, kind of thing. You know, he's gonna tell him not to come down to the ring. So more or less that takes care of Jericho, but I think during the match, the Authority is going to bring themselves back into it. I don't think they're gonna wait any longer. Triple H is gonna make an appearance, and Stephanie McMahon will reveal herself to be a heel still, despite all of her praising of Mick Foley. I think she's gonna align with her husband to somehow screw Rollins and give Kevin Owens the win. It's a great narrative. It'll kick off the feud between Rollins and Triple H properly, which will run all the way to Mania. Don't get it wrong. And on top of that, it'll start off a great Owens and Jericho feud, which has been hinted at quite a few times lately, which could conceivably run all the way to Royal Rumble, depending on if they want to keep it on Owens or even give it to Jericho. Who knows? He's had an outstanding run this year, and putting the belt on him wouldn't be a bad move. But overall, Owens wins. The only title to change hands will be the Cruiserweight title, and hopefully a few fun surprises and not such a boring show. And hopefully 0 references to Brock Lesnar and Goldberg, because, oh god, is that going to stink up the joint. That's going to be Hogan Warrior 2 levels of terrible. And there it is, my Hell in a Cell predictions. Thank you everyone for watching. I always appreciate when you do. Make sure you like, share, comment on it. Let me know, again, what you think of my picks, how you would pick them different. And of course, subscribe for me. I'm almost at 200. Go ahead and follow me on any of the social media you see on the screen. I am on Twitter, Twitch, Periscope, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Vine, while it still exists, Tumblr, and YouTube. And while you're on Twitter, make sure you follow at #Skirmish. We play a new hashtag game every Wednesday, 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific. If you don't know what hashtag games are, tune in sometime. They're a lot of damn fun. And speaking of hashtag games, go ahead and go to your app store and download the #Roundup app. It's outstanding. It gives little tutorials on how to play, and it promotes all the best weekly hashtag games on Twitter. It's a blast. You will not regret the download. My name is JK Calloway, and we will talk to you next time.